Hey guys, this is Moses from Solframe, and I'm back with something fascinating in Excel. So, continuing in the vein of my previous video, I'm going to talk about something that I use on a regular basis, and that is summarizing data in a two-dimensional array. Now, what that means is let's have a quick look at something I've prepared before. So, basically, that means that if I have a project and if I have a party that is billing to that project, this is an example, and I'm taking the amounts. Now, if I want to know totally how much is going for each project, for each party, so I can summarize it like this. Obviously, I can add it manually, but that's not a smart thing. So, using tables and some formulas, what we can do is if I have in B, and if let's take Amazon, on the right side, you can see what's going on. I'm adding 600 rupees here or $600, whatever suits you, and you can have a look the difference is happening on the right side, right? Great. So this is automatically updated. Now you're going to say, what happens if I add something new? So let's say that there's a project C. Hang on the right you can see it's come up there. So at C for Amazon I spent 300. Perfect, right? So let's have a look at how we can do something like this and a way to even improve this a little bit. And all you need are four formulas plus knowledge of tables. It's if, the unique function, sum if s, and transpose, right? Okay, so let's create a new file, and I'm going to close these old ones, and let's get started. All right, so first of all, I'm going to create a sheet. I'm going to call it data. I'm going to create a sheet. I'm going to call it summary. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my view tab, make a new window of this. Basically, I've opened the same workbook twice, and the reason for that is if I go back to view, I go to arrange all, vertical, and now using window snap, I can have left side, right side. One will show my summary and one will show my data. Let's just up the zoom here to 200% in both sides so that everything is clear. Great. So let's just start quickly. Serial number, project. We're just recreating what we had before. Party and amount. We'll turn this into a table. Format is table. This is my favorite one. I don't know why. So formatted as table. You'll see there's a table editing tab. I'm going to call this table data. Now the reason for this is I use camel case and I always keep table prefix because then I know this is a table, and if you have a big sheet with multiple name ranges, this is the best way to go about it. As a recap from last time, I'm just going to put in the auto serial number so I don't have to worry about it. If is blank, project, then make it blank as well. Otherwise, if A1 is equal to serial number, do 1, otherwise A1 plus 1, and close it, and we have this thing ready. So my mistake, I should have kept the raw data from before, but let's just quickly fill it out. Let's just do Amazon, Google, right? And let's have some raw values, 600, 500, 400. Great. Our raw data is ready. Let's have a look at what we're going to do. Now, obviously, the first way we could do this, we could just type in AB for our projects, and we could have our parties in the form of manually typing. But this won't give us any of that auto creation magic. So let's just get rid of this and have a look at what we can do. Now, the thing is, Excel has something called arrays. Arrays are basically a bunch of cells combined together. You can reference an array by saying something like, if we go and we say data A1 to A4, this is an array and it's populating all the data from before. So great, now we just need our project. So I can say table data project, This side will have parties. But it's repeating again and again. This is not comfortable for me. I only want the unique value. So this is where unique comes in. It takes an array, right, and punches out only the unique values inside. So in a similar vein, if we go unique, our table data and project now. Great, so now we have our unique values. But obviously we wanted 2 dimensions. They should all go in the top row. So we can use a function called transpose, which all it does is it takes data and then flips it. So it takes the vertical to horizontal and horizontal to vertical. There we go. To illustrate how transpose would work on data that is already horizontal, if I transpose this again, it'll go back to being vertical. So we were transposing a horizontal set, it became vertical. Then next, let us just plug in our SumFS. Now most of you might be thinking this is the best way to do it, and it is. We'll just take SumFS, the sum range. We're going to take our amount, table data amount. I didn't want to type it in, so I just selected it. Now our criteria range, first of all we want to check which project it is. So there we go. Our value, we wanted to check that it's this project. And for those of you who don't know, F4 will freeze the either column row or column and row. So we're going to go that we want the row frozen because we want to copy paste this again. Then let's just manually type this one so that people get an idea that you can still do it this way. Now our party, and we want it to be A and 2. We've highlighted what we want to see. Great. So there we go. If we paste this, perfect. Now the problem with this, or not the problem, if we add something, now automatically C is being updated. Amazon 300. But to get this formula to work, we have to copy paste it. Now you may be thinking, you just showed us those arrays, so can't we just plug those values in? And the answer is yes, that is it. All we have to do is say that instead of writing here, instead for the project, let's start with the party actually, because this will explain some problems that crop up with this. Let us say that we want the party. If we go table data party, now remember I need the unique values only. I only want to check with the unique arrays, right? Oh, unfortunate. Unique, open and close. Let us just expand this so that no one misses anything. I just made it a unique, and then bingo, there it is. Now one option is I can just copy paste this here, and then there you go. Now it's always giving us the array. Now you might think, okay, can't we put the array for the project? Yes, we can, but nothing is stopping us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the same unique table data project. Click it. Oh wait, something went wrong. What is this? Oh, this is because you can see that it's taking 3 values, but it's expecting it vertically. It's assigning the array vertically. So what we have to do is we have to transpose. Always keep it in capitals. Why? Because then it's easier to read down the line. Bingo. So if I make another C, and if I change the party, if I have, let's say from Flipkart you've ordered 400. Great. Now this is the perfect way to have an auto updating summary. Essentially, we're basically done. Now all that matters is you can take your values here, and let's just go to our view tab. Oops, we were already in our view tab, and I'm just going to say stop showing grid lines, and then just add some borders from our home tab font. For now, let's just add all borders. And great, we have a small summary table which will auto expand whenever it's required. Now, what is the issue with this? The issue with this is that data integrity is not being maintained. If I put like this, if something is misspelled, it's going to add another row. So even though you would expect this, you wanted this to be in the form of Amazon, it's not going to come. So what can we do for this? Well, it's simple. For those of you who know data validation, we can create a sheet with lists, and I can just say parties, I can say projects, and then we have Amazon, Google, Flipkart, and of course forgot to expand the size. Projects, we have A, B, C. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to format as table. My table has headers, and I'm going to call this table projects. Parties, which is my mistake. Parties. I'm just going to call it party like this because that's a mistake. Even here, project, and we're going to do the same. Format as table. Dun, dun. And call this table project. Great. So now all we have to do is make sure that in our data sheet, we'll come here and we'll, first of all, I'm going to delete the last row. And come here and go to data validation. Then I'm going to say it has to be a list. Now in this, if I type in, you might expect this to work. Table, party, party. It doesn't. It's messy. So it doesn't allow you to reference the table itself directly. So we have to go with the function called indirect. And then put this value in the form within double quotes. And then you'll see that great, now I have this. So if I went to type in Amazon like this, we're going to get an error. Perfect. So now all I have to do is drag this down, and then I can say Amazon. Nice. Let us go back and let's do the same thing for this, just so that you can understand. Data validation in the form of a list, indirect, table, project. See, now that I've kept my table names in this form, it's easy for me to remember and type it in instead of having to go back and find, is this table 1, table 2, table 3, table 5, whatever it may be. And our formulas are remaining the same using the unique. But now, one of the things that you should always keep in mind is whenever you are doing something like this, you should follow the principle of using your raw data wherever it may be. So even though we had this, we're going to say table party, party, and then it will show up like so. And now we're getting errors. Why? I'll come back to that. Table party, and here instead we're going to do the same thing with table project, table project, and we're still keeping the transpose on because we want it to come horizontally. Nothing has changed here, but something changed here. Now the reason for that is we had previously in the form of unique, which means it will look from the top to the bottom. Google, Amazon. So Google came first, so that is the first one. Amazon came, then Amazon. Then Flipkart came third. But in the example of our table, we've kept it Amazon, Google, Flipkart. So it will show it in the same list format. What's useful for this is that even if you have suppliers and projects listed with 0 values, you can show those values in your summary. So let's come back here. we had table data project, right? So we're going to change this. We're going to change this all to be project. Sorry, table data project is correct. We want to change where we're having transpose. Instead of unique like this, we're going to put in table project. Similarly, this unique we can get rid of and go with table party. And there we go. All our data is reformed and nicely set up. Now, what is the difference between the two and when should you use them? If you yourself are managing the sheet, I always recommend building a list because it maintains data integrity. You don't have to worry about spelling mistakes. You can remove duplicates without having to worry about whether or not your rows are correct or incorrect. So, and these lists can always be carried forward for use somewhere else. You have a raw location where if you wanted more data in relation to this, you could have project wise items that were delivered or something similar. And then you could build a new list for items and then you could keep cascading and building your summaries as required. On the other hand, if this sheet you're sharing with someone else, then data validation puts people in the restricts them. If they're meant to be restricted, great. If they're meant to be allowed to type whatever they feel like and be damned what may happen in terms of your summary, go ahead and get rid of your data validation. Don't keep any lists and let people type with it. So I hope this was useful. Went on a bit longer than I expected, but I've always found this a useful trick to build a nice summary and report. Okay. Thanks a lot, and check out our other courses.